I'm Louis Morals, and this is a Market Bull Update. The Federal Reserve has increased interest rates for only the third time since the financial crisis, which is still more raises than the typical middle-class worker has gotten in the past decade. The Fed kept rates at historic lows to help spark growth in the anemic economy, but with inflation now near the target level of 2%, the Fed is shifting its focus to stabilization, because just like when overcoming anorexia, you want to make sure not to go too far in the opposite direction. In fact, with inflation at 2% and unemployment at 4.5%, economic indicators are at the optimal levels for the Fed, which is known as a Goldilocks economy. That's because inflation's not too high, economic growth is not too low, and if you're a rural American, this bitch is going to eat your dinner. A new report from the New York State Comptroller's Office showed that Wall Street bonuses increased last year to an average payout of $138,000, to which bankers responded, "How the hell am I supposed to live in New York on that pittance?" Blue-collar workers in Middle America expressed confidence that the economic inequality would be addressed by the populist president they elected and the 5 former Goldman Sachs executives in his administration's senior ranks. The total number of securities industry's jobs in New York still lower than 2007, meaning each worker must become more efficient at fucking over the little guy. The city of Everett, Washington is suing Purdue Pharma, maker of opioid pain medication Oxycontin, alleging the drug maker knowingly allowed pills to be funneled onto the black market. Purdue responded that if Everett's been hurt, they have something to help with the pain. The city seeks to hold the company accountable for supplying to suspicious pharmacies and physicians, enabling the illegal diversion of Oxycontin, but the company insists that www.cheaponlinepills.com.co/getdrugs sounded totally legit. In the past, Purdue had to pay hundreds of millions in fines for willfully misrepresenting the drug's addiction risks and over-aggressive marketing tactics, and they're surprised that they haven't received more sympathy that their addiction to money causes them to keep on hurting themselves. Chemical giant Monsanto's weed killer Roundup is under scrutiny due to unsealed court documents questioning the safety of and research practices around the product, because while this might be hard to believe, it turns out poison is bad for you. In 2015, a senior official at the Environmental Protection Agency appears to have colluded with Monsanto to prevent a review of the product after the World Health Organization determined it was a carcinogen, meaning that that senior official was a couple of years ahead of its time in terms of the goals of the EPA. Monsanto rebutted concerns that academic research funded by the company could be compromised, with a spokesperson saying, "Just because you pay a whore for sex doesn't mean she's going to tell people you're good," citing personal experience. Emails did seem to show executives discussed hiring academics to put their names on papers actually written by Monsanto, though you have my personal guarantee that would never happen for news coverage. Monsanto, the fresh maker. This has been a Market Bull Update. I'm your host, Louis Morals, reminding you there's no I in poor.